Yes, Ritu madam had joined.
Ritu, you're on mute.
Yes, ma'am, yes. We just now received news that our beloved Lata Mangeshkar has passed away. I request everyone to stand up for a minute to pay respects for her. हो गया एक मिनट बोलो थैंक यू एवरीवन thank you everyone. A very good morning and a warm welcome to all. We are privileged to have a distinguished speaker for today's function, Padma Shri Professor Dr. G.D. Yadav. I also extend a cheerful welcome to Madam Jyoti Bhatkamkar, Trustee of Kelkar Education Trust, Dr. M.R. Kurup Sir, the Secretary of Kelkar Education Trust, Dr. Member of Management CA A.D. Borkar Sir, Dr. B.B. Sharma, Advisory to Kelkar Trust, our in-charge principal, Professor Dr. Preeta Nilesh, Vice Principal, Degree College, CA Anil Nayak Sir, Vice Principal, Junior College, CA Vidyadhar Joshi Sir, Supervisor, Junior College, Mrs. Madhuri Nagarkar Ma'am, all the retired principals and vice principals of both degree and junior college, special invitees, guests for today's functions, family members of Kelkar, Vaze, Sate, Kulkarni, all invited dignitaries from Mulund constituency, the teaching and the administrative staff of the college, and my dear student friends. I, Ritu Sharma, on behalf of Vazi Fraternity, welcome you all on a very special occasion of celebrating the birth anniversaries of G.D. Kelkar and R.A. Kulkarni, which falls on the 6th and the 7th respectively. Every year, college organizes the J.D. Kelkar and R.A. Kulkarni Memorial Lecture Series. Eminent personalities from various fields and professions invited to guide us all with their pearls of wisdom, intellect, and sheer experience. The first inauguration of this lecture series was performed by the then Honorable Governor of Maharashtra, Shri Shankara Narayanan, in the year 2014. This lecture series is a small tribute we can pay to these two great personalities, G.D. Kelkar and R.A. Kulkarni, who has devoted their entire life for education and social development. With this, I once again welcome you all to the 9th year of G.D. Kelkar and R.A. Kulkarni Memorial Lecture Series. I now request our trustee, Kelkar Education Trust, Jyoti Bhatkamkar Madam, to give her welcome address.
Sure, thank you. First of all, I just heard about the demise of our late Lata Mangeshkar ji, and we must really pay a great tribute to her, all of us. Honorable Dr. Yadav, invitees, trustees, Dr. Kurup, Dr. Sharma, Dr. Barve, Principal Dr. Preeta Nilesh, Vice Principal Shri Anil Naik and Shri Joshi, Borkar Sir, Team KET, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Hope all of you are healthy and hearty. We are truly honored to have Dr. Yadav address us today. I personally always look forward to his address because, sir, you are a great inspiration to us. I welcome all of you to this Shri G.D. Kelkar and Dr. R.A. Kulkarni Memorial Lecture Series. Shri G.D. Kelkar, my father, envisioned this institution in 1984 for imparting education and conducting research relevant to industry requirements. His vision was in unifying education, research, and industry. Dr. R.A. Kulkarni, an illustrious educationist, guided him in building the foundation, so to say. We are immensely grateful to both of them for giving us this wonderful platform to work on. The Olympic motto, Citius Altius Fortius, was coined by Father Henry Didon, who was a close friend of Baron Pierre de Coubertin. These Latin words, faster, higher, stronger, in the context of Olympics meant a call to all competitors to engage in training strategies that prepare athletes to be the best in the world. These words pinpoint the level of conditioning, instructions, practice, mindset, and psychological aspects required for the games. Research, let's connect it with research, innovation, and the education field. Having these in our field, what does it mean? Let's see. Sir will, of course, elaborate more. Research and innovation are two important pillars of any economy. Countries showing curiosity driven and problem solving attitude in the citizens have always stood out and have grown. To sustain continuous and consistent growth, the youth of a country has to be research oriented and innovative, especially as India is at a position to elevate itself as a fast growing economy with Make in India. Citius Altius Fortius should be our mantra. Also, three more phrases come to my mind. On your mark, get set, and go. In short, we have to fasten our seat belts before our flight. We need to prepare for the Make in India movement, not just on the basis of mass production technique, but also base it formidably on research and innovation. Initially, the preparation and gearing up will definitely take time. The speed and technique may actually slow down while a lot of learning and experience is attained. However, we must all be at it because it will make a difference in the long run. We can only go faster, we can only aim higher, we can only become stronger if we stand together. The word together has been lately added in the motto of Olympics. Now let's connect it with education. Various national plans and policies have been prepared to foster science and technology innovation. Besides industrial policies, effort is being made to work on the orientation of our education system away from instructions and lecture and today towards fostering curiosity and development of scientific inquiry. NEP, and I couldn't put more words. I had to use these words in my the policy that says enable the development of an enlightened, socially conscious, knowledgeable, and skilled nation that can find and implement robust solutions to to its own problems. Form the basis for knowledge creation and innovation, thereby contributing to a growing national economy. Represent the key to more vibrant, socially engaged, cooperative communities and a happier, cohesive, cultured, productive, innovative, progressive, and prosperous nation. Lately, the word together has been added, which we could add to bring uniformities in education system. Development of an inquiry-based education system with a connect to the industry is very important for relevant research and innovation. Our institute has always believed in this connect. It is in our vision. Our nation is calling, and after a pandemic, after humongous challenges faced, we have to continue to make sure that we shine with flying colors. Youth will play a very important part in as we go ahead. Antoine the Saint Exupéry says, as for the future, your task is not to foresee it, but to enable it. My best wishes on this occasion to all the young and old to be at it and progress in life. We cannot predict the future, but we can make the most of the present. We thank Yadav sir for sharing his invaluable time with us today. Have a great day and thank you. And most welcome, all of you. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Jyoti ma'am, for always being so inspiring and motivating. I now request our in-charge principal, Professor Dr. Preeta Nilesh, to address the gathering.
Thank you, Ms. Ritu. Respected guest for the morning, Professor Dr. Yadav, Founder Trustee of the Kelkar Education Trust, Shri Ramesh Vaze, Trustee Mrs. Jyoti Bhadkamkar, Secretary Dr. M.R. Kurup, members of the management, Advisor Dr. B.B. Sharma, family members and friends of House Sahib Kelkar and Dr. Kulkarni, Memorial Lecture Committee members, invited guests, principals, deans, faculty members and students of Vaze and other colleges. A very happy morning to you all. It is my proud privilege to welcome you and introduce to you our Vaze College. The Kelkar Education Trust's Vinayak Ganesh Vaze College of Arts, Science and Commerce Autonomous was set up as a gesture of social commitment and to provide suburban Mumbai with a quality institution of higher education by the visionary late Shri Govind D. Kelkar in 1984. Bhau Sahib, as he was fondly known, was born on 6 February 1932 at Sangli. Under the sterling guidance of his father and uncle, Bhau Sahib grew.
Thank you for your kind words. Thank you for. Sorry.
Bhau Sahib grew up to become one of the most ingenious and creative perfumers of his time, known for developing some of the most memorable fragrances in the industry. A philanthropist who believed that there should be no charity in business and no business in charity, Bhau Sahib was of the view that giving someone a future was more important than giving away money. In all his plans, Bhau Sahib had the guidance of Dr. R.A. Kulkarni, whose birth anniversary we celebrate on February 7th every year. Bhau Sahib was also fortunate to have with him the founder principal of Vaze College and present secretary of the Kelkar Education Trust, Dr. M.R. Kurup, who believed that Vaze College would play a role in turning out well-adjusted and well-rounded students who could meet the demands of competitive performance. Our gratitude to the visionaries is the Kelkar Kulkarni Memorial Lecture Series. In his plans towards the college, Bhau Sahib was equally fortunate to have inputs from his daughter, Mrs. Jyoti Bhadkamkar, trustee of the Kelkar Education Trust. Vaze College was founded with a vision to grow and consolidate as one of the foremost autonomous centers of excellence in learning that contributes to sustainable and inclusive development of a knowledge-driven society and economy, and a mission to improve society by educating the youth and enabling them to become highly qualified and matured men and women able to meet the need of all human activities. Today, Vaze College has emerged as a high-performing institution with an active industry, academia, agriculture interface. Today, our vision is to be a top-ranked institute under the National Institutional Ranking Framework by imparting quality, research-oriented and relevant higher education. Towards this, our mission is to impart value-based quality education through excellence in teaching, learning and research. Vazay College received permanent affiliation from the University of Mumbai in 1990. The youngest institution to start vocational courses at the degree level, Vazay College was the first in Maharashtra to have been accredited by NAC in 1998 with A grade and has retained the status through 3 subsequent cycles, the latest in 2017. With CPE status from the UGC and DST FIST and the DBT STAR scheme, Vazay College was rated among the top 20 by India Today and ORG Marg. Vazay College has been granted the coveted status of College with Potential for Excellence by the UGC. Vazay also was the first to receive the first Best College Award from the University of Mumbai and the first college in the university to get the CPE status. Vazay College has established a healthy forward and backward academic linkage and an equally strong industry-academia interface by establishing the Scientific Research Center and the Cosmetology Testing and Research Laboratory. The college has 14 aided undergraduate, 6 self-financing undergraduate, and 9 postgraduate programs. The college also offers a unique postgraduate diploma in perfumery and cosmetology and vocational skill development program in travel and tourism. Short-term certificate courses are also conducted under the Shri Kelkar Skill Development Center and Finishing School. Vazay boasts of 7 PhD research centers, 28 faculty with PhD and 12 research guides. Our faculty has continued research activities after their doctoral degrees as well. Postdoctoral projects, participation in conferences, seminars and workshops as resource persons, keynote speakers, chairpersons and lead speakers, faculty of Vazay College is actively engaged with various collaborations towards furthering research. Our faculty also have secured patents for their research work. Involving students as research associates and participants in projects has helped to inculcate research culture in young minds. Faculty members have organized various conferences at international, national, state, university and local level with sponsorship and drawn huge participation from faculty, independent researchers and students alike. Faculty of Vazay College have publications in journals of repute. Books have also been published by faculty, and faculty is part of editorial boards, peer review panels of various journals. Vazay College teachers continue to contribute to academic councils, board of studies, syllabus committees, BUTR, RRC, LIC, squads, and interview panels for the selection and promotion of teachers at affiliated and autonomous colleges. Vazay College has had HSC and university toppers and rankers at the UG and PG levels and also winners at Avishkar and Anveshan. The college has had a Miss World crown winner. Our achievements in the field of sports includes 10 Shiva Chhatrapati Sports Excellent Awardees and 5 medalists at various international games. Our students have been taught to contribute to society and participate in socially responsible activities of the NSS, establishing linkages with neighboring schools and engaging with them in teaching learning activities. With academic autonomy in the academic year 2020-21, the college has begun a new journey with renewed zeal and enthusiasm towards excellence in education. Thank you for accepting our invitation, Professor Yadav. We at Vazay are happy to have you with us yet again and look forward to your inputs on how an institution like ours can achieve excellence in research under the National Education Policy. Thank you. Welcome to Vazay College. Over to you, Ms. Ritu.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving us detailed history and updated profile of college. Today is a very, very special day in the history of Kelkar College, which will be etched forever in the hearts and minds of all those who are lucky enough to attend it. The Padma Shri Award is the fourth highest civilian award of Republic of India. And today, our campus is rightly lit by the presence of one such Padma Shri luminary sitting right amongst us. I feel privileged to introduce Padma Shri Professor Shri Ganpati Dadasaheb Yadav. As you all might be aware that Professor GD is quite a well-known personality in the research as well as academic world. His immense contribution to chemical engineering and sciences is astounding. As a Vice Chancellor of the Institute of Chemical Technology, he has taken this world-renowned institute to even greater heights in his tenure. His life started with a humble background in a small village in the Kolhapur district of Maharashtra. During his initial years of schooling, he had to walk 10 kilometers daily to attend it. Later, he had to shift to Kolhapur city for further schooling, and to fund the hostel charges, he lived as a paying guest with a family in Kolhapur, where he used to wake up at 4 a.m. to cook his own meals, help in household chores, and study as well. His story of a simple but a bright boy from a tiny village of Maharashtra who grew up to lead one of India's top ranking universities is nothing short of an epic saga. Professor G.D. Yadav was conferred with the coveted Lifetime Achievement Award and a gold medal by the Indian Institute of Chemical Engineers. During the last 4 decades, Professor G.D. Yadav has made pioneering contributions to chemical engineering, green chemistry, catalytic sciences, biotechnology, nanomaterials, just to name a few. Based on the Science Citation Index database and peer-reviewed papers, Sir was declared as the topmost scientist of India in the year 2008 in the field of catalysis. He developed internationally patented pollution-free technologies, many of which have been put to industrial applications. Today, Professor G.D. Yadav has received wide recognition and has been cited in over 6,500 internationally reputed papers for his research on clay, ion exchange, resins, sulfated zirconia, and many more. Sir holds 69 international patents to his credit. He has published more than 300 original research papers. His exceptional productivity skills earned him international awards and recognitions, along with prestigious fellowships like Jagdish Chandra Bose National Fellowship, Fellowship of Indian National Science Academy. Today, in this lecture series, Sir is going to throw light on how excellence can be achieved in research and innovation with the help of national education policy. Before I invite Sir to talk on this topic, there is a gentle reminder. Kindly switch off your videos and mute your microphones. And if there are any questions, please type them in the chat box. We will take them up after the session. I now request Professor G.D. Yadav to take over the online platform.
Thank you, Madam Ritu Sharma. Madam Jyoti Badkamkar, Professor Preeta Nilesh, Shri Ramesh Vajay, the Kelkar, Vajay, Sate and Kulkarni families, Professor Sharma, Professor Kurup, Dr. Siddhivinayak Barve, the college faculty members, alumni, invited guests, and ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, let me thank the management for inviting me to be part of this celebration. So I'm going to give this oration with a view that it will give you something different. So let me start by saying that how delighted I am to be here with you, and particularly because this series, the 9th oration series, in the honor of two of your great people, Shri G.D. alias Bhausaheb Kelkar and Dr. Kulkarni. So I want to pay my tributes to both of them, but particularly since today is Bhausaheb's birth anniversary, 90th birth anniversary, I want to pay my tributes to him. I was very happy to see Jyoti Badkampar, his daughter, talking about him in the beginning. I had the honor of meeting him several years ago in ICT when he had come for a function of PAFI, the Perfumery and Flavor Association of India. And I was happy also to know that he's from Sangli, which is very close to Kolhapur, my native place. Ladies and gentlemen, your principal talked about the great achievements of this college. I had known about it because a lot of your students joined ICT. And so we had known about Vajay College. And I had the honor of visiting your college maybe at least 4 occasions. So I want to congratulate all of you for being the first in many of the criteria, including the accreditation by UGC, the UGC potential of excellence college and all that. At the same time, I'm a little bit saddened that the legendary Lata Mangeshkar is no more. So I pay my respect to her, Bharat Ratna, Lata Mangeshkar. So it was mentioned why I chose this title, CTS, RTS, 40S. Everybody is trying to achieve something at a very fast rate. In fact, everybody wants to do it yesterday, not even tomorrow. They want to go to a higher echelon, and also they want to be stronger in every sense of the word. So in this particular issue, how can we attain that? And every stakeholder has a role to play in this. So with reference to your own organization, your own department, you have a role to play. And whether you are current student or the alumnus, you have a role to play. And so you must know your role. What is that role and how you can contribute to this great, field of education. And as was said, together you can do it. So nobody achieves anything singularly. You might give credit to the leader, but nobody achieves it singularly. It has to be a concoction of so many things. So let us look at it. So the Indian budget, which was presented on 1st of February, and I also wrote a sort of commentary in Maharashtra Times on this budget. And I said I can give them 9 out of 10 marks because there are so many different schemes, including 25% of the budget of defense will be spent on research. So that's a lot of money. So we have DST, we have atomic energy, we have DBT, you name it. so many ministries, and of course, Ministry of Education. And during this budget, Madam Nirmala Sitharaman talked about digital university, the e-connectivity and the e-vidya. So they are the part of this. So how do we do that? Currently, I'm speaking to you sitting at my home as if you are all in front of me. But this also poses a new challenge because there has to be a proper connectivity and every student must get it at a particular speed. And we are talking about 5G. And yesterday you must have realized, in the afternoon, there was a disruption of these geo services. So you can imagine that can create havoc. So how do we achieve all these things? So I had made a presentation before Prakash Javadekar a few years ago. And I said, I am having a lot of things which are based on digital technology in ICT. In fact, the whole management system, MIS, had connected. Everything was, the database was connected. In fact, that was a requirement of the World Bank program because we were TechFIP funded institute. And that was, phase 2 as well as phase 3 and phase 3. We had many things to do. So I said it is a sort of Ekalavya model, right? Ekalavya learned it from a distance. Guru Dronacharya never accepted him as a student. Okay, he used to teach Arjun, but Ekalavya learned it. So today, everybody is a Ekalavya. The Guru may be somewhere hidden, thousands of miles away in the form of digital information. So this Ekalavya of mine is everyone can access this education. It will be knowledge intensive. It will be accommodative, highly accommodative, learner friendly. So irrespective of the age of the person, anytime you can have it, vibrant, youthful, and anywhere you can have it. Once you have that platform, and we are talking about digital university, all right? So what are the key principles of this national education policy? And I'm going to elaborate these things with reference to innovation in education and research. We are having respect for diversity and local context, okay? So that has to be reflected in pedagogy and the policy. That is number one. Number two is equity and inclusion. So that is the Ekalavya I mentioned, accommodative, to become the cornerstone of all educational decisions. And every stakeholder has to think from that angle. Then there is a community participation. You cannot develop something where the society doesn't accept it. That means society has to be part of it. So uplifting, philanthropic, private, community participation, what Bhau Sahib did by establishing this Vijay College and all these centers, it is something phenomenal. Right? He did not do it with a selfish motive. He said, let me serve society through education. And now we are talking of technology. And technology has to be used in teaching, learning, and removing the language barrier. So we have many friends, Alexa or Siri and whatnot, right? So we can definitely get instant translation of difficult words from one language to another language, right? So that is there. The artificial intelligence has helped us. In fact, I wrote a preface for a Marathi book on Kritrim Buddhi, which is written one of my friends, Dr. Sanjeev Tambe of NCL. Very beautiful book. And I read the entire thing. It is very nicely listed. So I wrote on this artificial intelligence there. So we have to emphasize on conceptual understanding instead of mugging. You know what is happening? Unfortunately, everybody is getting 95 plus marks. So you don't distinguish, you can't differentiate. So I had a very interesting experience. Some parents came to me, to my office, and said, sir, and this lady started shedding her tears. I said, what's wrong with you, ma'am? Your son has got 95% marks. You know what she said? She said, sir, it is not enough. He cannot get into ICT. I wanted him to be in ICT. I said, ICT is not the only institute. Do you mean to say that if he doesn't get into ICT, he cannot have his life? I said, this is nonsense. So do not think that marks as it may give you entry to one of the best institutions. Like you may have that problem in Vijay College. Everybody wants to be in Vijay College. But everybody cannot be accommodated. It doesn't mean that they cannot study somewhere else. So that is one. And See, we have to see that every student has a talent. And so nobody is useless, okay? So many times when teachers tell the students you are useless, I think they are doing a great harm. It is a psychological barrier for the student. And what is required to be taught is a critical thinking and creativity. And that is what is required. And that is what we talk about, this innovation, inclusiveness and whatnot, right? So why I'm talking about, see, we are talking about Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, right? That's what we say. And in Christians, they say, okay, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. I think they have borrowed it from us. But never have so many compelling technological problems have occupied the positions of prominence in our system of values. We do not know what is going to happen tomorrow. You cannot extrapolate anything. Believe me, nobody can extrapolate anything. Although we have the tools of predictions. Every moment something happens unexpectedly, posing a challenge. So the coronavirus changed everything. We never realized that we could have this. Although I started this digital class recording 5 years ago in ICT, every classroom there is a recording system and students can go back and look at the class lecture again. In fact, some of my colleagues were unhappy with me because I had this digital attendance of the teachers as well as the students. And they said, no, this is our, private lecture, it should not be recorded. I said, you are copying from some textbook and giving to the student. It is not your property. And the reason was that the students loved it. Students wanted digital, biomarking. Teachers, because I could see it anywhere in the world through my mobile phone because there was a connectivity. That was the digital connectivity. So that helped us when this corona came. So the way we think, live, meet, behave, rejoice, everything had changed. Okay, nobody had imagined vaccination on a mass scale, and India has about 1.7 billion vaccine shots. Nothing in the world can beat us. So the only problem is that we are afraid of the unknown and the uncertain. So how do we do it in education? Remember, in this Trinity, change, challenge, and opportunity, change is also accommodated in the spelling of challenge. So they go hand in hand. Sometimes we curse ourselves, okay, so and so college has the best facility, my college doesn't have it. No, I don't think we should make that an issue. Whatever you have limited, on the basis of that, you should be able to go to the next. So in this change, challenge, and opportunity, education should be at the forefront. And the national education policy has tried to accommodate many things. It is a concoction of many, many different ideas, right from KG to PG to PhD level and whatnot. Very interesting. Many of the things, and and the states are given the rights to mold it their own way. And I was a member of this committee, of Maharashtra committee, which I talked about NEP. Dr. Mashelkar was the chairman. And I suggested many things. It is there a part of, it is one of the chapters in the policy document. I said this, in fact, I should write an article. I said, our education must change. We must have a trimester system, at least in some of the colleges, and not this semester. Semester is useless. According to me, it is trimester. And I tried in ICT, into the new campuses, Bhubaneswar and Jalna, and that gave wonderful result. Every alternate term, the student is in industry. It's paid. So they earn and learn, okay? You don't have to have evening colleges. In the case of technology and management, or in the law colleges, there are a lot of evening colleges. But this, in the case of engineering and technology, this helps the students very nicely. Okay, so what are the questions which, when we want to have an institutional excellence, because you are talking about, CTS, ITS in 40 years, how do you achieve institutional excellence in the digitally connected and instantly accessible world? When you want to teach something to the students, already has Google search and found out the answer, right? So that means you have to be much smarter than the student. And who are the stakeholders in the pursuit of the excellence? Everybody. And how do we sustain this excellence? It is very easy to go to the apex position, but you can, it tumbled down. And this is where every college, every institution must redefine its vision and mission for all stakeholders. And as I said in the beginning, together you can do it. You can be one of the important participants in that whole process. So look at the world-class universities. We
Sir?
must understand. Yeah.
Sir, sorry to disturb you in between, but are your slides moving?
Yeah, they're moving.
No, sir. We are able to see only first slide. Probably.
How can it be? I actually let me rejoin. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll
No, no, sir.
rejoin. No,
It's
no, no, no. There may be
now
some
we are able to
problem.
see.
Yeah, now it is visible.
Now we are able to see.
other, yeah.
But anyway, I will. Good that you called me. Actually, I can do it again. There's no problem. This is, problem of the software which you use. I'm using now Windows 11. Okay.
Sir, you can share your screen again, and then we can begin.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. Okay. So I must open my slides again. Yeah, this is what happens many times. As teachers, we think that the students are learning and we go on finishing the portion, and the students have not learned anything. So let me see whether I can show my slides again. I guess so. Are you able to see it now? Hello?
Yes, sir. We are able to see your first
Now,
slide.
can you see the full screen now? Let me see, because can you see the full screen?
No, sir, no. It's not the full screen.
Now?
Not yet, sir.
Oh, there is some problem. Why? Actually, but on my computer it is full screen. Are you able to see it now?
Not yet, sir.
No. See, now you can see it. Do you see it? Otherwise, I will have to individually show each and every slide. Now, do you see the next slide now?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
We
sir.
can.
Okay. This I talked about. Do you see this slide also now?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
That means I'll have to go individually and I cannot go in the full screen. This is what I had showed you about know your role. This you may not have seen this slide then.
No, sir.
Okay. This slide, did you see? I talked about this.
No, sir. No, sir.
I talked about this Eklavya model. I have made beautiful slides, but unfortunately, you are not able to see the full screen. Okay. Then I talked about the national education policy. Then I talked about change, challenge, and opportunity. Okay. And I came over here. Okay. And questions galore. And this is the time when you said you were not able to see anything. Now can you see this?
Yes, sir. We can see. Thank you.
Now
sir.
let me see whether I can make it full screen and go. Otherwise, I'll have to go back to the. Do you see the full screen?
No, sir.
So on my computer there is a full screen, but now you see this.
Yes, sir. Yes.
That means when I go to the full screen, you are not able to see anything. Okay, so I will go by this. The technology has its own problem, and we are talking about digital university, right? Okay.
Sir, may I suggest something? Sir, may I
Yes.
suggest something? Sir, will you please click slideshow and do from current slide?
No, that is what I did, madam.
But
See, no, this is slides are only current. Do you see that now? Do you see the full?
no, no.
No, so there is some problem with the.
Okay.
You understand, no? There is a problem.
Yeah. You are doing, but we are not able to see the change.
No, this happens because I chair so many committees. Every time we have to tell the participant to do this because this is software compatibility. I have Windows 11. Maybe that is creating problem. So anyway, I will start my lecture here. Okay. I'm sorry about that, but I hope you are able to see this. Okay. So what I was talking about, we should compare ourselves with the world-class universities, because the universities are the harbingers of creation of new knowledge, and we are talking about knowledge-intensive education. Education has to be student-centric and job-oriented and entrepreneurship-focused. My personal belief is that we should educate our students to become job creators and not job seekers. And there many times the student wants a government job, cozy job. I think that's a wrong attitude. And when you want to generate this cutting edge knowledge, it could be sometimes incremental or it could be disruptive. And the dissemination of new knowledge to all stakeholders, many times the students particularly who are unbelieving, is most difficult part. In the digitally connected world, the teacher has to do a lot of homework. You cannot go with the old notes to the classroom and start teaching. And the innovation must guide university education. And remember, we cannot isolate ourselves from society. The societal development must be at the heart of our educational system. Believe me, traditions and public perception win half the battle. Like, for example, if you say Vajay College, already the perception is there that you are a great in college, right? So that public perception wins half the battle, which is very important. However, what is equally important is governance, leadership, and management. They must work in tandem. The governance of the college and the management and the leadership cannot be at loggerheads, then you can't achieve anything. Even one of them should not malfunction. So if you have a very healthy management, supportive management of your ideas, you can do wonders. I remember in one case, I will not name it, the college, we gave them money. I was, part of this FEAST program, and it was one of the few colleges to got it, because we must have helped more than 500 colleges across the country. But the management had some problem, and one of the persons, the trustees, wrote to the organization, "Don't give money to that college," which is so sad. It's difficult to get funds, and somebody writes. So I think that kind of crooked people are also there. So the governance is very, very important, and the leadership matters. So while we are talking about ranking, right? Madam Nilesh said that we are ranked so and so and so. Very nice to know. So we have NAC, we have NBA, we have NRF, and NIRF has become like a gold standard now. Then we have area, the Atal ranking of institutions of innovation achievements. And then we went to the Institute of Eminence. Then we have graded autonomy. And so the ranking is here to stay like Aadhaar. And sometimes the colleges or universities which were not ranked, they will have a negative opinion of the system. So quite few old universities, their vice chancellors, because we used to have vice chancellors meeting, they would say, "Oh, no, our university is not ranked because the NRF doesn't understand what it is." Instead of improving your standard, why are you saying that you were great? You cannot be great, right? Our forefathers were great. That does not make us great. We have to continuously work hard. So that is what happens. So, so what it means that the brands are not created overnight. There are planners, there are brand makers, there is a governance system. So the brand and name, so sometimes you can be in the public eye for wrong reasons, right? Perception is what is being in the public eye. So suppose you do a lot of good things, the newspapers may not print anything, but you do something bad, some stupid thing, you are on the front page, right? So sometimes there are some universities which are always there in the newspaper because they do something which is controversial, right? And also, sometimes these brands may not be necessarily meaning excellence. So I'll give you an idea of this. So there was a questionnaire by this QS ranking. So they asked some of the stakeholders, "Can you rank the water management department of Harvard University?" Now, Harvard is a big name. Cambridge, Harvard, Oxford, Caltech, name it. Everybody ranked Harvard water management department as number one. But believe me, there is no water management department in Harvard. That means it is a perception of the public that everything which is associated with that is great. So that is not correct. So Cambridge, Oxford, I said made. So we have Mumbai University, very old university, Calcutta, or Madras, and they are JNU, Delhi University. So everywhere we like to see where we are. Now we have IISc Bangalore is ranked #1 in the NRF ranking, right? Or then we created ISIS because IISc brand was not to be shared with anybody else. So they said ISIS. We are IITs. The old IITs, the new IITs. The new IITs, the old IITs don't like the new IITs, quite honestly, because they say they are not equal to us. So just the brand is created by somebody, and it may not be related to excellence. Okay, so we have NITs and whatnot, right? So this is very important for us. So ranking parameter, you should know that they are given variable weightage, like the faculty and its diversity, the students and their diversity, the quality of faculty, their qualification, their achievements. But this is a catch-22 syndrome. That is, if you don't have good students, you can't have good faculty, and vice versa, right? And the spread and diversity of alumni, access to high-end facilities. If you have great facilities, you can attract good teachers, right? Then the research output, the patents, publication, technology transfer. Above all, the quality of support staff. The support staff do make the college or university. So we cannot neglect them. And above all, you must have a nice publicity PRO, right? That is also there. So these, and for example, in this Times Higher Education ranking, 40% marks are given to, the public perception. And then there are other criteria. How many Nobel laureates are there in your faculty? Or how many nationalities are represented on your faculty? So that kind of thing, Indian institutions or universities find no place anywhere, in top 200 because of that, because we don't, in fact, we have such a dichotomic situation. We are not allowing faculty to be recruited from a neighboring state. I'm dead against it. In fact, they said, no, you must know. I am a Maharashtrian. I'm a Marathi speaking. My entire education was in Marathi. But you know what they say? You must know Marathi to be what is it? At higher education, you know Marathi, it is good because it will help you. But is it the criteria for innovation? No, the criteria is something else. But the bureaucracy and the politicians spoil the whole thing. See, my personal belief is that at higher education, we should be open to the best students should go everywhere. You should attract. That is another problem. Okay. And so this is where the autonomy, because you got all this excellence because you are an autonomous college, right? So good governance and autonomy, the leadership, all these things matter a great in taking to a higher level as far as the educational standard and research and innovation is concerned. In case of ICT, I can proudly say, because I was a vice chancellor for 10.5 years, it is the autonomy which made us great. We took full advantage of that. And I told World Bank, right now I am on the tertiary committee of World Bank Advisory Committee, tertiary education. And I said, it is TechWIP which gave us this autonomy from Mumbai University. We became autonomous. Then we applied for deemed university state. We got it. We made use of it. And then we went ahead in terms of everything, recruitment of faculty, students and whatnot. ICT always recruits 30% students from outside the state. So others cannot do that, right? So that kind of thing, that is from day one. It is not today, okay? And then you have infrastructure, you get research grant in your alumni and all that thing helps. And we have the greatest of alumni on ICT. In fact, you won't believe India's 8% GDP is created by the businesses started by alumni of ICT. When I said this to Niti Ayog, Dr. Amitabh Kant, he could not believe. And I said, I can give you statistics. He said, this is great. He said, no IIT is talking about it. I said, we are unknown like that. But at the same time, we have made use of the autonomy. Okay, we have made use of the autonomy. So the autonomy, and see in NEP 2020, they talk of autonomy. So, my personal belief is that if you are ranked in NAC or in NBA, in case of, NBA for different courses, if you are ranked in NAC and you get above certain score, you should be made autonomous, irrespective of the university's objection. Many times in the past, universities are objected. In our case also, Mumbai University was not ready to give us autonomy. It is Maharashtra government, we said UDCT should be autonomous, and then we got money under TechWIP. Okay, we got 68 out of 68. So this is what happens when you have autonomy. So because of that autonomy, ICT became highly research intensive, industry connected, unique institutions, and we were also made category 1 institute in 2018, February 10. And we made use of it. And within a month, I started a campus in Bhubaneswar with the help of Indian Oil, 500 crore commitment. And then after some time, I met the chief minister and we started the campus. Hello, somebody is talking.
I request everyone to please mute their microphones.
Sir, you can unmute yourself.
Okay. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So, ICT has become a research-intensive, industry-connected, unique institution. We have more than 700 first-generation entrepreneurs. It's a record of that kind. Okay. So, how do you increase your research impact and citation? Because they are also counted in this ranking. So, you must promote multidisciplinary work. In the colleges also you can do it, but see, because you are autonomous, I don't know whether Mumbai University will allow you to do that, but you should do it. And in the NEP talks about it. Promoting multidisciplinary work, promoting multi-institutional work. You should have collaborations with like-minded, but strength begets strength. Okay, so you must collaborate with others. Involve multinational work. Okay, so and also you can send your faculty abroad during summer for postdoctoral positions, and there are so many schemes of government. I must tell you also, there are so many good schemes, but there are no good proposals coming from either from institutions or from academic colleagues. And then you can do cutting edge contemporary research. And I must compliment, because I must say that Bhausaheb Kelkar, when he started this perfumery, SH Kelkar and company was well known to everybody across the world. Okay, and so and then you have to create a pool of teachers from research students who will propagate your ideas. Many times, some teachers are great in creating a legacy. Okay, they have so many students who go across the world, and they have a branch. They have a branch. You will be surprised to know that every Nobel laureate has a 7.2 connection with another previous Nobel laureate. Can you believe that? That means the ideas which are propagated are through these great teachers, like Professor C.N.R. Rao in IIC Bangalore, or George Whiteside of Harvard, or Robert Langer, who is a professor of chemical engineering at MIT, and many of
Excuse me, sir. Sir, I think your audio is muted. Hello.
I had unmuted it, but you are able to see my slides now?
Yes, sir. Your slides are visible.
Actually, from time to, I think there is some technology problem. Sometimes, maybe you are trying to mute some others except me, and I am also getting muted, right? Maybe that is the reason. But anyway, if you don't hear me, immediately alert, give me an alert. I will appreciate that. So
Okay,
the factors which are responsible for institute branding and reputation and all these things are there. The reputation of alumni, very important. International standing of faculty, promotion of research and innovation, and I'll give you some ideas. Industry-sponsored project, industrial consultations, quality and diversity of students, the government support, placement record. And I'm telling you that I had said this in the Niti Aayog program also once, maybe 3 years ago, that the corporate social responsibility, CSR, that should be increased to 3%, and 1% should be given to higher education. That is one of the ways of, and then let the industries also say that you do research in this area, it will help us. That is fine. But CSR says it has to be, selfless. But at the same time, we need industry support, philanthropic support. Financial help to needy students is very important. Actually, that is where Indian educational system lacks. Yes, we have to do that. Then organization of international conferences, national recognitions, international recognitions, technology development, support staff participation, and above all, the service to society, right? And then only all these factors will create so-called public perception. The other important issue in the NRF ranking, you will see that the topmost, except ICT, which is a state-funded institutions, all others are centrally funded institutions, are big private institutions in the top 50. If you look at the, criteria. Centrally funded institutions get chunk of money because government always favors them. And state-funded institutions don't get salaries also on time. And the private institutions, I will not say anything. So my suggestion is that institution of eminence, what happened? The same thing happened in institution of eminence. Initially, they gave 3 and ICT was selected, but they said you are deemed university. Is it my crime that I am a deemed university? I argued with the committee, but then it doesn't work that way, actually. So centrally funded institution should be given a lot of money, 5,000 crore, give them 10,000. We don't care, but give us also. The state doesn't care. The state doesn't care for tertiary education. That is my experience. I can tell it loud and clear. Because, they have a different agenda. In fact, I've been saying this. Some of you ladies will like it. I've been saying this since 2004. Girls' education should be free till PhD. I gave lectures also and I gave examples. And the reason why I say that, because if girls are given free education does not mean all girls will become PhDs. No, they can be given if they qualify, they have the merit and they continue. At least all girls can go to bachelor's, some of them can go to master's. So what will happen? Their marriageable age will increase. There is no question of parents not having funds to educate them. And that will create, within 2 generations, we will have the highly enlightened society, because the educated mother means everything. Okay, they will not have more kids, right? They will educate them properly. And also automatically population control will be there. So girls should be given free education. I've been saying it for number. In fact, I talked in this earlier, the Knowledge Commission also. I said, I'm not telling it as a joke. I'm saying it. I sincerely believe girls should be encouraged. Then parents will not stop them from going to college or, higher education. So here, in the same way, why only fund centrally funded institutions? Those who are in top 50, whether they're college, private college, or anything, government should bring them under the control of central funding. Give them encouragement. That is not happening. And if that is done, then we can have a lot of things, okay? So the challenges for state universities, what is the problem? I tell you, challenges for state university is to recruit the best and retaining the greatest. That is the greatest hurdle. How do you recruit then there is a ban or recruitment. So I always said, because I've gone as a chairman of NAC and many other UGC committees, I always said that the management of the colleges must treat family as a unit. Okay, if you want to have great institutions, you must have from KG to PG. And if, because in today's world, spouses are equally qualified. How can a highly learned wife sit at home? She can also do something, right? So the management must try to give them jobs. In big cities, they can get, but in small towns and villages, they will not get it. So management has to do that. And also, greatest hurdle is avoiding political interference. That is a great hurdle. Okay, and that is a challenge. So how do you do that? But you have to be polite to avoid the political interference. Okay, so this is what is very important. And so what it means, the opportunities which are before us for the academia is to involve industries, okay, and give them tax benefits. I said about Section 35 of IT Act and the CSR funding. The Finance Ministry and the Education Ministry now, they have to think on this. And why only few institutions are Institute of Eminence? In fact, if you look at it, the best of the institutes, whether they are IITs or others, their students after bachelor's degree go abroad. That means they have to get for masters, they have to get from other colleges, right? Or other engineering colleges, maybe private ones. So why not fund them also? And I've been saying this, at least 50 top in the NRF ranking should be funded by the center and taken under its umbrella. And this is what is happening in China, Korea, Singapore, Finland. Finland has the best educational system. I had a collaboration with Finnish University of Oulu, and I found there was a mother and daughter both were doing PhD students at the same time. And so what they do, if you lose your job, you are given a fellowship and asked to study in the university and create new knowledge. See, that's a great concept. So we have to do that. If we want to promote research and university, innovation, undergraduate research is very important. So when colleges say that we don't have research students, I say, no, start undergraduate research. You are a degree college. They say we are just a degree college. Start, your teachers are PhD. Some of them may be PhDs. Why don't you collaborate with some other institutions, or you start some research, involve local industry, and you can make use of technology. These days, you don't have to be visiting the place for writing research papers or discussions, right? We can always do it through, Google Meet or whatever. So institutes are bigger than individuals. This is a very important matter. So it is a team spirit which you wins. So this, picture which I put here is from the Indian team, which fought this under Ajinkya Rahane in Australia and won. Nobody believed that they could win the series. That means everybody contributed, right? So you are not small. Do not underestimate yourself. If you go to ICT, all the posters I have made with my own computer, I printed and put them. One of the posters, you walk through the first floor, it is saying, the rich, the poor, the marginal, the underprivileged, they all studied here and made it big. Do not underestimate who you could be. So what it means, you do not underestimate. You can definitely lead. When I joined ICT, I'd come to join IIT and I landed in ICT accidentally, right? I never realized that I will be Vice Chancellor one day and the first founding Vice Chancellor, but it happened, right? I was consistent in my efforts and studies and all. So I think this is an important matter. As far as research and innovation is concerned, you can contribute to the national exchequer. And once again, I must mention Bhau Sahib for starting this center, research center, which you have. I visited that center and Dr. Barve had shown me that. So yes, so the research university center excellence, how do you see universities coursing? When I say university, it also means college, the educational institute. You must have some sectorial strength and the novelty, and you encourage that. You must have contemporary subjects. And now we are talking about, the designer degree, right? Designer. So you can have major degree, minor degree, and second minor, third minor. And important is to have connectivity with industry. Okay, then then the industrial application of the few of the problems, okay, but it must have academic punch, because academic punch gives new knowledge. And also you must create IPR, and I will show you how to create IPR, okay. And there is a competition. It could be local, it could be departmental, intra-departmental, interdepartmental, university, state, national, name it. All sorts of competitions are there, right? So we have to think globally and act locally, because our students can be going somewhere else across the world and doing something else there, right? So, but at the same time, you have to solve local problems. Then only local industry will come. So why the United States is a global leader in research and innovation? Look, the GDP, right now, US GDP is about something like about $22 trillion. They say it will be 24.8. Okay. And China is also growing at a very fast rate, and it will be about 19.2 trillion. India is aiming to be 5 trillion by 2024. Right? So, and India will be the third largest power soon, right? So what it means, the world in 2050, the PwC report says that India GDP that time will be $28 trillion, and it will be the third highest. However, to do that, we have to have research and innovation in our higher education. Okay, you must have that. Then only it is possible. And universities should not think of, that they cannot do it. And when we compare ourselves with the leading global universities, we are just because they are in United States or in Europe or Japan, it's not like that. Why are they great? So we must look at this. Is funding the only problem for higher education? What about the quality of research? How many patents you have created? Okay, how you maintain your infrastructure? So many times in Indian universities, you get the best of the equipment, and within 2-3 years it is gone, but because there is no maintenance fund. So what I did in in ICT, I hope it is continuing. I used to say, when somebody you will maintain the equipment, not only will quote for it, maintain it for 7 years, and you will have your own person there, right? 7 years. You will include in that budget, in the tender only, because afterwards we are not able to do it. Say that means they will definitely maintain it. Another interesting part is that Government of India must give access to all colleges to all databases free. I think that will be the greatest thing if it happens, because we are not spending that much money on higher education or education per se, right? They say the research is only about 0.8% of our GDP, which is nothing, peanut. So the government's refusal to support public funded databases and resources is counterproductive. So it has to be all colleges, all students, faculty must have access. And that is what is happening in these great universities, whether it is MIT, Harvard, Stanford, Chicago, Caltech, and whatnot, right? So when we want to compare ourselves with the top ranked universities, we must know why they are revered. What is the magic and what lessons we can learn? In fact, some of my slides had, because I'm not in the slide mode, this thing is not seen at the background, but it was 3 slides together. So anyway, how do we build this capacity? So obviously, we have to have the research and impact citation. So obviously, I told you this, okay? So now, let us go to what India can do. So looking at the best performing universities, we have to derive inspiration. We must create adjunct professorship. I'm myself adjunct professor at 4 different universities across the world. So I do teach, bringing at least 10% of the state university under Ministry of Education, supporting libraries and accessibility to databases, removing barriers on recruitment of faculty and students, industrial sabbaticals, like summer, sabbatical, or a semester, or our industry people are brought as adjunct professors, and then you recruit the high quality faculty and ask them to do postdoctoral research, go somewhere else. They will have some sort of network, and so this international collaboration will be fostered. I would like to quote here, Susan Huckfield, who was the first lady president of MIT. She said this: universities are the engines of economic growth. And I'll give you some examples. Okay, she was the most successful fundraiser, $3 billion. But she, although MIT is one of the best, topmost universities, she went beyond the brand, and she had so many collaborations. She is a medical doctor, but she had so many collaborations within Boston area. She said, we must collaborate. And so this particular slide, this is 2020 data. In 1970, India, China, and United States were not far different. And the difference in the currency value was also not great, believe me. And then we go ahead. In 2020, we were $2.66 trillion, China $14.432, and USA $20.54 trillion. How did they do that? Who was responsible for their GDP? You'll be surprised to know that there were two tipping points. One was in 1974 and another in 1995. 1974 was the oil embargo. So they had to think differently. 1995 is the biotechnology revolution. So you see, this is where the universities contributed greatly. And which universities did that? So one was in the West, the Silicon Valley, Stanford University, and the Georgetown, MIT. These two universities did many great things, and the statistics are very interesting. About 1/3 of the GDP was created by the graduates of these two universities, the patent profile and all. The MIT size only 0.68 kilometers square, and Stanford has 33.1 kilometers. See their sizes. But the contribution, 1/3 is coming from just two universities. That means universities can contribute to national exchequer. That is what Susan Huckfield was saying. So in other words, behind every innovation hub lies a great university. And university is not just a collection of buildings and affluence of facilities, but inspiring and great teachers, innovative students, supportive alumni, and dedicated support staff. I'm saying time and again, support staff must be equally committed to the institute. And they all have to be active and vibrant participants in creation and promotion of new knowledge. Then only it is possible. Okay? And so what I'm saying, just IPR is a wealth. Two great professors are cited here, Robert Langer and George Whiteside. George Whiteside had come to ICT on 3 different occasions and given lectures also. We gave him a Dhirubhai Ambani honor. See, he has the highest H index. So many papers. Still he's working, and he created so many companies. Ginsheim is his company, $1 billion company. More than 200 postdocs. And Bob Langer has many, so many 800 plus patents, 220 major awards. And these are billionaire professors. Okay, these are billionaire. That means professor should not think that he will be, poor. And this is what George Whiteside said, that corporations are basically set up to, help the stockholders. Universities are supposedly set up to incentivize, that is to reward creativity, good teaching, daring, and intellectual daring, running counter to convention. So that is what is our job is. And one of the things I mentioned before, how do we improve the odds of industry? Because industry is not going to give you free money, right? If we give them scale-up procedures, yes, you do life cycle analysis, for example. And so the academics must always be in touch, constant touch, dialogue with industry. They must be passionate about their research and innovation and excellence. Then only it is possible. So this particular slide, I am telling you this, now this is dated in the sense, but I could have chosen the latest data. but this is, indicative. Look at the University of California system. Number of patents 365, you go down, Georgia Tech, and look at the revenue which is generated by this IPR. So IPR is wealth for universities. That is how they run. And the reason for that is another interesting thing. Look at the number of patents. In the 76% of the patents, at least one is a foreign inventor. That means that person may be born in India or Philippines or maybe Latin America or Europe. So Americans have this open door policy, and that is one of the reasons why they are growing, and they're growing because they don't spend on our UG, PG, right? You get the best of the talent from across the world. So yes, so what is the reason why our university is not able to do what the companies want them to do? Because universities, they are uncertain about the outcome of their research, the basic research. And they also, they think that their research is not marketable. And this is where, and they value publications more than patents and commercialization. That is one of the problems with our Indian system, right? So, and what are the problems which our, IP commercialization? A lot of universities are inventing and protecting IP, right? I have, 115 patents, granted patents right now. Okay. And, but to maintain them, a lot of money is to be spent. And so unless some of the patents are sold, you cannot protect your IP rights. Okay? That is so universities normally don't do that. In fact, I was the first person in Mumbai University in 1992 to get, permission after 1 year to patent this thing. And who helped me? DST, TIFAC helped me. Then also the NRDC also helped. University did not help me. So this is what happens. So the challenges to universities in generating revenues because there is a large gap between the university and the market. And there is a missing university and industry collaboration. There are missing policies. And luckily in the NEP, these things are given, that it is mandated now. And even faculty members can have their own companies. And one of the things why our universities are not able to do it because there is no technology transfer office, TTO, or technology licensing office. These are very important things, and colleges should think on that. Because luckily, Vajay College, you have no R&D center there. You should do this. Okay, you should have that. So the generating revenues from IPR is not only that. Once you file the patent, you can go to the industry and write. Right now, I'm having a very big program with ONGC, and I'm generating hydrogen, okay, water splitting. But they are supporting me. They have been supporting since 2005. So that is how one has to go and do this. So I see. So to tell you the truth, that so technology transfer is very, very important. So you have to not only develop technology, and colleges must do that. Even if there are one or two intelligent and accomplished faculty members, let them do that. The management must support them. Management has to support them. Otherwise, it does not happen. Management job is not to just, collect funds. Okay, because these days, inverted comma, education has become an industry, right? This is what people say. But in the right sense of the word, why are they not supporting like industries are supporting? So let us there. So you should have the technology transfer deals. You must have patent attorneys who are consultants to your college. That is the only time you can do it. Okay. So then only you can commercialize this technology. Okay. In licensing, big university file a patent. Okay. Then you have to license. Then you can have exclusive license, or you can retain the license and sell to 4 or 5 different companies. Okay, so you may have royalties, or you could have equities. Many times, I'm chairing this committee of DST, of innovation, entrepreneurship, and technology enterprise, right? There, we are giving money to colleges and universities and to startup, have startup policies, incubation centers. And there, once that is developed, that startup is incubated in your startup center, you get equity. You can get equity, right? Sometimes they don't give, but they may give you royalty, running royalty. So you can transfer property rights. So assignment of patent, because sometimes we have patents because we want to block somebody else's entry into that. That is one of the reasons. Not all patents are commercialized, believe me. 98% patents are not commercialized. Only 2% make all the money. Why they get so many patents? Because it is like, blocking your door, close all the windows. So even, nothing will come inside, right? Only one door you keep. So if you break that, then only you get, the patent. Or you can have joint ventures. You develop something, have a company. The college can be a partner in a joint venture. Why you are not doing that? That can be done. In Indian context also, we can have joint ventures. And the university startups and incubation, right? The startup is very, very important idea. And undergraduate students can also have it. It is not only the startup, the IT related and developing apps. In fact, for the so-called manufacturing sector, India must have a growth of something like 24% in manufacturing sector and about 70% in service sector to be really a great economy, to become $5 trillion economy. So manufacturing sector cannot be neglected. Just startup is not taking just one computer and start doing some app. App is just one part of the story. It is not. So then another way is to patent enforcement. Sometimes you file a patent and somebody is stealing it and start it. So what you should do then? There is, in our country, litigation takes years and years. By the time the case comes filing, the person might be dead and gone also. So what they do, universities must try to negotiate with the infringer to take the license on the patent. And if that all options do not work, then only think of filing a lawsuit. Otherwise, if they know the out-of-court settlement. For example, a great company like Apple paid $234 million to University of Wisconsin for that A7 processor, which was their development. So that can happen, right? So this is one of the things. And so, the evolution of university technology, okay, the transformation of data-rich sectors using AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. And that is there everywhere. In fact, when I started these two courses in Bhubaneswar and all, in the very first trimester, okay, because it's a 15 trimester, 5-year program with 2 years industrial experience. In the first trimester, the class is together. Then the class is split, okay? And the students come together only in the last 2 trimesters, that is 14 and 15. And every time, very interestingly, is in the first trimester, they were taught MSc level analytical chemistry and machine learning type of thing, Python, MATLAB. So when they went to industry, they were already ready to help them their R&D. And the best part, I was very satisfied because 2 students could file patents. They were just 12th standard students because we underestimate the students. My own colleagues were against my idea, but I bulldozed it. I said, no, let them do it. At the most, we will fail. What is big deal? Failure is not a crime, but not trying is a crime. So the universities must take advantage of, so if we are talking about digital universities, so AI and machine learning will be part of every course because we are going to make use of that knowledge. It is as a tool. It is as a tool. So because you see, for example, the medical knowledge is doubling every 73 days. And yet we are barely scratching the surface of the utilizing this huge data. And we have seen it during the vaccine development. So the challenges faced by all universities is the technology transfer. Office must be there. And that is where we have this problem. Okay. And so what we can do for India, looking at the best performing universities, we should derive inspiration. We should create actual adjunct professorship, I said, bring 10% state universities of Ministry of Education, remove the barrier of recruitment. You should have an endowment. Every college should create an endowment where you get donations from your alumni. You know what I did? In every December 3rd Saturday, I used to call all my alumni across the world and celebrate decennial jubilee, silver jubilee, golden jubilee, name it. If you need an occasion, and ask one of the students to collect funds, and they do it very happily because they have earned. So you have so many good students. So I'm going to give you some example how ICT did it, and I told you that ICT contribute about 8% to the exchequer. Okay, so my dream was that when I took over, I said, can ICT be in top 100 universities in the world? Maybe you will say, are you mad? But I said, you have to dream. Dreaming is not, there is no tax on dream, right? And then first you have top 500 top class faculty and 5,000 top class students on 3 campuses. That was my dream when the campuses were started. And generate 3,500 crore rupees. Believe me, I generated 1,800 crore by the time I left. But that is what it is. And then create job providers instead of job seekers. So in that 5-year program, what I did, that the students in the final 2 trimesters, they must work on an idea which can be a startup company. Now that is going to happen this year, right? Because I retired meanwhile. But anyway, that idea is so that we and these classmates, they come together and they should give jobs to others, including their own classmates. That is the idea. So that is the dream. So the ICT's excellence is because of number of factors. Vision of the founders, it has a national character, dedicated, selfless faculty, industry, philanthropy, spirit of entrepreneurship, student entrepreneurship. In fact, one of the PhD students, when he was doing his PhD, came to me and he said, sir, he wants to start I want to start a company. I said, go ahead. I gave him permission. Today, his company is 20 crore company. By the time he graduated, he already had a 5 crore company. So if I had stopped him, suppose he had done clandestinely, I would have been the loser. But I said, yes, do it. There's no problem. We will be very happy. And then you have to concentrate on your sector. Which sector you are good, concentrate on that. And try to create entrepreneurs out of them. Okay. So we did that. We have been always thinking globally and acting locally. So our courses, research as innovation and technology development is all part of this whole thing. So we are not just a chemical technology institute. We do biotechnology, we do material science, we do foods and pharmaceutical, energy, science and engineering, you name it. But the name is chemical technology. And so this is all cross-disciplinary. Science students are there in all departments, believe me. So why do we do that? So we have an unparalleled track record of 89 years and only 16 acres campus. Created 3 Padma Vibhushans, 8 Padma Bhushans, 8 Padma Shris, 2 Fellows of Royal Society, and 700 plus entrepreneurs. You can imagine. And they came from all over the country. Supposing we had a restrictive policy of only, one of the ministers earlier told me, no, I want to reduce your 30%. I said, sir, don't do that. This is our tradition. I will fight tooth and nail. Don't do that. He did not like me, but I said, no, don't do that, because that is our asset. And they have created so many entrepreneurs because our policy, open door policy. I used to fight for our city. I said, that is our, bread and butter. Our students are doing so well for the nation and across the globe. So it became, ICT became a multi-campus category, category 1 universities. And so main campus in Indian Oil, Odisha, the campus, and also here I had to do a lot of, jugglery, meet people here, there. And these campuses have students coming from all over the country. There are 18 states represented on this campus when students were admitted. Some of the students left IITs and joined, believe me, because of the concept of every alternate trimester you go to industry. They were getting money anywhere between 15,000 to 20,000 rupees per month at stipend. Just imagine. So the whole concept was different. That is what the national education policy is now talking about. I feel elated because I've been championing this cause, and I saw these Mumbai campus as this. this is semester system, so this is trimester. So nobody can ask, many times people come with a chitti, say that, okay, transfer my son or daughter from this campus to that. It is not possible here. I deliberately did that. I said, so we have this integrated MTech, IMTech, and then we also have this executive MTech. So this executive MTech in Bhubaneswar, IIT Kharagpur gave their campus to me. And they are now partners with us in this executive MTech, where every 2 months, the executives come and go back and say that program is 2 years. So these are unique programs. And so similar thing we did it in Jalna. So you see that what it means, the reason why, because we have a lot of freedom to practice and sense of belonging. Every colleague of mine thinks that ICT is his motherland. My students think that. And that is what is required by the college management to be, brought to the attention of the student, that they are the stakeholders. And also in the management also, what we did. We have more number of people from outside than inside. Whenever it happens. So our model of which is approved by the government of Maharashtra, is a model which is, even I am Ahmedabad professor. Shailesh Gandhi, he said, Professor Yadav, you are the great model. This is what we want to do everywhere. Why we have more people from on the man? Because they should not be, saying yes sir, and they will not give critical, advice to us. And so in our case, the choice of research problem is given to the individual's own choice. Students are also allowed to join any faculty. In fact, I was a person who gave 3 months duty leave to faculty. In some cases, 120 days. Tell me where it is. But I said, those people who were given leave, they were the most committed people. They conducted their classes, they did their research, they did consultation. And we have a culture of PhDs. I had the highest number of PhDs per faculty in the country. It was more than that. So somebody said UGC has restriction of 10. I said UGC is not giving money for this PhD. I'm generating this money through industry. We have every faculty member has a research project. UGC is saying only UGC fellowship. And if the professor is doing it and the students are happy, why we should bother? And so it is very important to have a culture of PhDs. And of course, our culture is master students do publish their papers, the research. And the senior most faculty have patents and publish, and nobody has the excuse that I'm very busy. And I'll tell you, and I will end a little bit later. Very interestingly, I started a industry prize that the most innovative professor, and the committee was appointed. I say patents, publication, guidance, etc., etc. And I said, the industry association said they would like to give this award. And the committee came, they said, sir, you are the one. I said, no, but I started this prize with the help of industry. How can I accept it? The industry association said, no, you have to accept it. So then I accepted and I said, yes, I will accept and tell my colleague, although I'm the vice chancellor, I got this award. That means I never made an excuse of not teaching or not doing research or not publishing or not filing patents. I did. So you can do it. If you are the junior guy, you cannot give this excuse. You can tell your wife at home, oh, I'm very busy. And wife may believe you. But actually, you're not doing anything. So that's freedom to practice and sense of belonging is very, very important to be at the forefront in this higher education. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, there are so many areas about patent. So my model is 3P model. That is patent, publish, and prosper. So when I was there, we had 406 patents in the 10 years time. And all courses, energy, environment, food, health, water, municipal solid waste, waste to well, sea waste to bypass, all these things were done. So, and in the case of IPR sharing, we used to say that 50-50 with the industry. And they have a first right of refusal. Okay. First right, in fact, I have given some lectures on this. It is there in the UGC platform, Swayam. So you can see that. And multinationals is most difficult. So Unilever came to us and they said, okay, they will do 2 projects, and ultimately they gave 18 projects. So what it means, if the industry think that they are rewarded by your effort, they will come back to you. So that is what happens. So the vision, you must have vision. The vision, there must be a culture of innovation, and you must have processes in place, you must have practices and systems. So you see, these are some of our alumni, well-known alumni, Padma awardees. Okay, these are the superstars whom I, honored in 2018. Some of these faces are very familiar, and these guys were on our board. Mukesh Ambani was on our board. So you can imagine our Madhukar Parikh of Pidilite, the Fevicol company, Anjir Reddy, or Narottam Saxeri of Gujarat Ambuja, or Ashwin Dani of Asian Paints. All these people, they never said that. And so what we did, we had the sectorial excellence. So we concentrated on chemicals, materials, and this is what we did. And ultimately what it means, see what I did, I started 23 new programs during my time. So I was very open. You see, this is our board of governors. We had 4 distinguished alumni, industry association, director of IIT or national laboratory, secretary of higher education. So external were 7, and there was a chancellor's nominee, and our chancellor was Dr. Mashulkar. So when we opened it, so ICT is now a multi-campus deemed to be category 1 in university. Okay, so yes, ladies and gentlemen, our first off-campus was inaugurated by Honorable President. Okay, and this is where IIT Kharagpur, came to partner with us. And so personally, I've been working on hydrogen economy, and I got a lot of funds from ONGC, Energy Center, and this is where I have been doing my work. And this is the slide which tells you that right now we are going to all do all these big pilot plant studies in Goa, the campus of ONGC. So you can see that this is, and I can produce hydrogen in less than $1. The world says $2.5. So I'm very elated. So I still continue doing research, guiding PhD student, teaching, I do teach. So ultimately it is said in Bhagavad Gita, right? Karmaneva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. So yeah, I must do my duty. You should do your duty. Don't worry. Fruits will come to you. Fruits will come to you provided you make an effort. Okay? So the concluding remarks, the academic institutes must concentrate on generating new knowledge, cross-disciplinary research, and collaborations at national and international level. Some leading institute must adopt trimester system. That is my advice to Government of India. The leadership and management will decide the future of the universities and not the governments. Governments come and go. IPR is a wealth. No idea is a bad idea unless it is proven otherwise. So try. You may fail. What is big deal? Failure is not a crime. Actually, you write this in bold letters across your college. Failure is not a crime. All colleges and universities must teach IPR to all students, like environmental courses. Not all patents make money, but some do make. Some of them can block others' entry into that business through technology transfer. And commercialization can be achieved by licensing, by transferring property rights, IPR, through joint ventures, university startups and incubation, and through patent enforcement. And finally, I dedicate this to my students. Some of the students still they are working in my lab. I was very happy to know that last 2 years, I've been declared as #1 in physical chemistry because catalysis and green chemistry is part of physical chemistry. So in one by Stanford University survey, and I happen to be 0.2% in the world and number 66 continuously. And so I have graduated 107 PhDs, 115 granted patents, 135 masters, 497 papers. Yesterday, one of my papers was accepted, and postdoctoral fellows 47. None of this would have been possible but for my mother institute, ICT. So I bow before the ICT. I have contributed something to the growth, but it is because of all these stakeholders. And as I said in the beginning, no single man should claim success. Failure, yes. If I have failed, it is because of my policy or my insistence on something. But if I have succeeded, it is because of all these 4 stakeholders: the faculty, the students, the alumni, and the non-teaching or the support staff. Thank you very much. I dedicate my lecture to Bhausaheb, Kelkar. Because of him, I could talk freely before you. And if you have any questions, I'll be very happy to answer. Thank you so much. And I must apologize. My slides were not fully steamed. I had made so many cartoons and all. I had to abandon them. Sorry for that, but thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for this presentation. It was truly enlightening and very informative. Especially your emphasis on the girl education in rural area was truly inspiring. Thank you, sir, for updating us with the past, current, and future of our education. Sir, using alumni in generating excellence is also a valuable suggestion for Vazay institution. Having very luminous alumni. Thank you, sir, very much once again. Now, our session is open for question answers. The very first question is from Bhagyashri Madam. Sir, you said some brands are made by media and not inherent excellence. What is necessary to check this trend?
Very good question. You know, no. Actually, what I meant was that some of the because the ranking parameters, in fact, my suggestion to NRF was do not have a public perception points, because in India that public perception doesn't work. You know, it should be based on, because it is subjective, right? Sometimes it's like not all IITs are great, right? But original IITs are. So that, but the name IIT is a brand, right? Even if somebody, joins a new IIT where there is no facility, okay, but it is an IIT. So because the public perception is IIT means, it is like earlier, if you become engineer or doctor only, then are good. Nobody gave importance to humanities. Nobody gave importance to lawyers or anything else. We had this, very, wrong picture of our professions and jobs and whatnot. Only doctors and engineers were valued, which was wrong. Every person is required in this society. And that is what is required in education. And so branding is also is based on that now, because we think nowadays you cannot become doctor. You require crores of rupees to do some specialization. And where are the poor students going to get it? So this is where, brand is, yes, but it's like Vajay College is a branded college. It's good. But it does not mean that everything in Vajay College is branded. Some of the things may be branded. That is true of any education institute. And I gave you an example of Harvard University Water Management Department.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your answer.
Thank you, sir. And there's another question from Shirsha Gupte ma'am. Sir, can you throw more light on education system of Finland, about which you spoke during the topic of role of funding?
Yeah, I tell you, very interesting. Finland has the best educational system, and you should read it on internet. KG and all, there is no force of any kind. We make our kids work like we don't allow them to enjoy their childhood. From, first standard, they're going for some classes, additional classes. We deprive them of that. That does not happen in Finland. Another important thing which I mentioned about Finland is that the Finnish universities and faculty are doing very good research. And what they say, that supposing you lose your job, don't give up. We will give you fellowship, go and study in the university and create new knowledge, and maybe you can start a company or something like that. So it is not an unemployment benefit, but it is an educational encouragement. That kind of system. So a Finnish program is supposed to be the best in the world, educational system. And I used to go there. I had a collaboration for 3 years. So I've seen it.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any more questions? Yes, we have from Lata ma'am. One question from Lata ma'am. Sir, environment is the main global issue, and chemicals being one of the most contributing factor to the problem. Can some restraints be set at the level of research and innovation to control this problem?
Okay, I'll tell you, very interesting question you asked. But you are absolutely wrong. Chemicals do not contribute to pollution. Actually, the power industry contributes more to pollution. The housing industry contributes. The energy sector, you'll be surprised, 33% of the energy is used by housing industry. Okay. Power, coal-fired power plants, the carbon dioxide emissions. The so-called net zero means what? That means carbon dioxide has to be captured and converted into chemicals and materials. So green chemistry concept came out of it. That is not to pollute, but make more money, less pollution, right? See, the auto, you like your vehicles, right? Whether you have a scooter or motorcycle or car, the three-way catalyst is a gift of chemical industry so that there is no pollution. Okay, so it will break the unreacted hydrocarbons going out and make into benign product. That is the whole idea. So only the maximum polluting industry is the transportation industry. Okay, so it is not the chemical industry. The chemical industry is contributing to make greener fuels. Hydrogen, for example, green hydrogen. When hydrogen burnt, it is only water. Correct? The so-called net zero means what? Whatever carbon dioxide is generated. Right now, the percent of carbon dioxide is something like 412 ppm. Pre-industrialization area, it was 260. And if we do not control by technological means, by 20 to 100 year, it will be very high, about 2000 ppm. That will be the end of the world because there will be so much of flooding and havoc will be caused. So they are talking about controlling the temperature rise to less than 1.5 degrees C this century. That is one of the reasons. So you require research, you require new variants of crops because some of the crops may not be able to sustain themselves in the heat, correct? So chemical industry does not pollute. Chemical industry is essential. And I'm giving you a challenge. You can come and claim 100 crore rupees from me. That is, show me 3 products which you are using, man-made products which do not use chemicals. You are sitting somewhere, right? You are using a computer, a mobile phone, maybe. How many chemicals are used in that mobile phone? What about the silicon chip? What about the gallium arsenide? How many types of polymers are used? Where are the monomers coming? Are they happening without processing, chemical processing? No. Yes, chemistry is life. So you have to make chemicals by benign processes, non-hazardous processes. That is what the concept of green chemistry and engineering is. So don't say that, and that is one of the reasons also I will tell you, when these IT courses were introduced, we had a problem. I think Pramod Mahajan was responsible for that. Some of our students from first year chemical engineering left and joined some, private colleges, IT. And next year they came back and they said, we want to come back. I said, no, you have left and we filled that position. You cannot come back because you are under wrong impression. Because the chemical word looks taboo. So suppose I say dihydrogen oxide, you will think it is chemical, right? Dihydrogen oxide is a chemical. It is water. If I say water, you say, oh, give me. But if I say dihydrogen oxide, you will say, no, don't give me that. So this is again a perception, public perception, right? Because they think chemical without, so there was somebody who wanted to, he was a retired job. He is the television channel wanted me to debate with him. I said, he is a judge, he is a lawyer, I'm a scientist. I cannot debate with a judge because he doesn't know anything about chemistry. But he said, I heard him, he said, oh, we'll ban all chemical industry. I said, if you want to ban it, did you eat any medicine this morning? Are you using perfume? Are you using your clothes? Are you using glasses? What are they? They are chemical products. So don't say, you can say no to pollution, but not to chemicals. Yes. So even when people talk about plastics, plastic was a substitute for paper because paper was denudation of forests, cutting of trees. But since it became thin, stronger and stronger, and it was freely available because the bhajiwala gives you free, you throw it. Suppose he had charged you 5 rupees, you would definitely go back and give. That is the suggestion I gave to government. I said, do not ban plastic, have a better recovery recycle system. Ask the bhajiwala to, you have digital economy now. So every plastic bag he gives, he charges you deposit. Suppose 1 rupee deposit. You go back, like a newspaper boy comes to your home every day. Do you throw raddi? No, you sell it, right? So that boy will come to collect your plastic garbage and he will return your money. Maybe he will take 5%, but that will solve the problem of plastic pollution. Not banning is not the solution. Banning always leads to some unscrupulous activities. So, and last but not least, if any technology creates problem, another technology solves it. That is what we have seen throughout the history of technology and mankind. The civilization is because of technology. What we see today, what we are doing today, 30 years ago, we would have never imagined that we'll be talking like this. But it is a, fruit of technology.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable inputs. I guess it looks like we have covered all our questions. I now request Loveleen ma'am to propose vote of thanks.
A very warm good afternoon to one and all. Feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a present and not presenting it. It was correctly spoken by William Arthur Ward. So today we'll be not keeping our gratitude to ourselves. I, Professor Loveleen Kaur Narang, member of Shri G.D. Kelkar Kulkarni and Dr. R.A. Kulkarni Memorial Lecture Series, express my wholehearted thanks. At the outset, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to In Charge Principal Dr. Preeta Nilesh, Vice Principal C.A. Anil Nayak, Vice Principal Junior College C.A. Vidyadhar Joshi, and Supervisor of Junior College Professor Madhuri Nagarkar from the core of my heart for giving me this opportunity. I thank Deans Dr. Ajit Kengar, Dr. Alka Kolatkar, Dr. Dinesh Nair for their presence. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks and to acknowledge the contribution of all those who have made this occasion a memorable event. On behalf of Kelkar Education Trust, Vinay Ganesh Vaze College Autonomous, I thank Dr. G.D. Yadav, sir, for your sharing your insightful thoughts on national education policy and achieving excellence and in research and innovations today. We had the opportunity to hear your extremely relevant address. Sir, we are grateful to your thoughts on key principles of national education policy. Your suggestions of having trimester system instead of semester system will definitely give more knowledge to the students and help us in achieving excellence. You also stressed on the importance of redefining missions and visions of the institutions, the impact and the role of world-class universities, and about the ranking and promotion of quality. You also mentioned the significance of autonomy and ICT, which can help us in being research incentive and industry connected unique institution. Other points highlighted were equity, community participation, ranking parameters, CSR funding, challenges to the universities, process of getting patents and licensing, importance of university startup and incubation centers. My sincere thanks for attending all the doubts and questions. I am thankful to honorable members of Kelkar, Vaze and Sathe family for sparing their precious time. With special mention of Srimati Jyoti Badgankar, Trustee, Shri Ramesh Vaze, Founder Trustee, and all the members of Vaze, Kulkarni and Sathe family. I am thankful to Dr. Kurup, Secretary Kelkar Education Trust, C.A. Borkar, Member of Management, Dr. B.B. Sharma, former Principal and Advisor. For their constant support and inspiration, your presence is really accelerating. My special thanks to today's anchor, Ritu Sharma, our technical team, staff members from degree, junior, college, and Miss Ankita Rane from administrative staff. I thank Dr. Bharve, our SRC director. His role is really instrumental in inviting today's guest speaker. I must not forget to thank the real unsung heroes, the conveners of the committee, Shirisha Gupte Madam and Bhagyashri Madam, and all the members of Shri G.D. Kulkarni and Dr. R.A. Kulkarni Memorial Lecture Series for their hard work. A big thank you to the most silent members of the day, and they are none other than our audience. They are the one who has no throat to yell, no lips to whistle, but their greatness can be illustrated by their humble presence. Our audience include Dr. Paratkar, former principal and HOD of Botany Department, Dr. A.P. Jayaraman, our last year's chief guest, I bow my humble appreciation to supervisors, our retired teachers, and the students of all the streams for their presence. Pardon me if I've missed anyone, and thank you so much for your contributions. Thank you. Over to you, madam.
Thank you, Lovely.
Yeah, thank you, Lavlin.
Thank you.
And yeah. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We will see you tomorrow morning for one more lecture by Mr. Shailendra Kavde on the topic Startups, Navin Kshitija Ani Navya Sandhi. I request Zubin Madam to conclude today's program by National Anthem. I request everyone to rise for the National Anthem.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, you are audible.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे भारत माता की जय।
Jai. Once again.